I'm on a 6-month challenge to trade up to balisongs of greater value in order to fund my trip to Blade Show East 2025. I started off 2 weeks ago with this BBfarfly V2, and I've successfully done my first ever trade to get this balisong from Glidr. To be more specific, I got the Pacific from Glidr. Here it is. Here's a little bit of a closer look, as you can see. So I got this balisong yesterday, and I did flip it yesterday. This is not like a first impressions video, but it's pretty close to it. I'll just be kind of sharing just my experience with this balisong so far, because my goal is, with this trade up challenge, I do want to get this video out as soon as possible. That way I can get it to my YouTube audience, that's you watching right now, so you can get the first chance to trade anything. If there's anything you want to trade for this Pacific, it comes with literally everything. It comes with the case, the extra hardware, the bite handle marker, both sets of weights, the heavy and the lighter, and this little nifty balisong stand. And even the 3D printed case that it came from that says balisong stand, and this little card. So it literally comes with everything. So if you have something you want to trade for this balisong, just hit me up. You can just DM me, whether it be on Discord or Instagram. And feel free to leave a comment down below if you do message me. But my only requirements are, number one, this is a trade up challenge. So if you do offer me something that's lower, that will slow down my progress towards this goal. I'm probably not going to be taking it. So if you have something that's maybe a slightly more in value that you would prefer to have this, then you can feel free to shoot me an offer. And just other points to note, I'm only trading with people in the US just because dealing with international shipping is going to be a lot more. And also, I would prefer no clones. So right now I'm just saying no clones. So if you have any authentic balisongs that you would like to trade up, just let me know. Now, I did this trade with Totally Tricky. You can check out his channel here on YouTube here. He doesn't have any balisong tricks on his YouTube channel yet, but he does do like skiing tricks and trampoline tricks and other cool sports. So check it out. It was a super smooth trade. It was for both of our first times ever doing a trade. He was specifically looking for a BBFireFly because he wanted to add that to his collection. He showed me a picture. He has a really cool collection. He has like 3, now 4 BBbarfly products. So it's really cool that he gets to enjoy the Firefly. It was my first trade. Shout out to the Buffness. He helped me along the way just to make sure I was doing everything right. So thanks to him, I definitely went smoother. And also thank you to Totally Tricky, because you are making this challenge feel like a reality, because it is on its way. And so I'm very thankful to get to have this Pacific, and I hope to send it off to somebody who will enjoy it a ton, because I know I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Okay, now with all of that important stuff out of the way, I wanted to get into the balisong itself. Now, from what I've heard, people have pretty polarizing opinions on this balisong. Some people really like it, some people really don't like it. And it's kind of ironic. You'd think out of all the Glidr balisongs, it would be the Arctic or the Antarctic that would be the polarizing balisongs. But no, it's the Pacific. I did have some things on my mind with this balisong, like its balance perhaps being a little wonky in the different configurations, or the grip being a lot. But I just want to kind of talk about this balisong and share my thoughts on it. Now, keep in mind, this is essentially a first impressions video. I have done a little bit of playing around with the weight systems, of course, and some flipping beforehand. But this is all just going to be my thoughts about the balisong so far. This is in no way an in-depth review. I just want to get into the flipping. So overall, the things that aren't affected by the weight system would be things like the grip. I know that, I mean, you can see this has a lot of texturing all on the faces, in addition to some very nice jimping and this faux speed channel on the side. So there's a lot of texturing for sure, and you can really feel it. It is definitely, I would say, more pronounced than like the squid trainer. But it's also, I would say, it's a lot. And personally, I like it. I could see how somebody wouldn't like it. If you don't like the squid trainer, you probably won't like this, because I think the texture is deeper than the squid trainer. But if you do like the squid trainer because of the texture, or you're into similarly textured balisongs, then I think you might really like it. So there's that. The grip is definitely like noticeable in the hand at all times, and it makes it for just really solid performance. So you don't drop the balisong because of slipping. So that's good. And for the chaplains as well, I don't really notice, like I can kind of tell on the very edges, it's kind of touching my finger. I really don't think it's too bad. Maybe with like extended flipping sessions, perhaps it could be jarring, but I like it. So yeah, and like I said, the jimping is really good on this. So yeah, it's like it digs into your fingers. It goes pretty high up on the handles. And as well, I feel like I can feel a little bit of because the handles are pretty round. And so even I'm getting a little bit of that grip. I'm getting a little bit of that grip on my fingers as like from the edge of the face texture, I guess. So yeah, the ladders on this feel really nice for that reason. This balisong is a bit longer than like standard balisongs. Like look at that. The squid trainer handles touching. It's like almost a full pivot, like half a pivot, like from the middle of the pivot up, which I think it's probably like the machine-wise old extra length. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like the handles are nice and thin, and there's like a good like rounded square. So the handle geometry is really good. So overall, I would say this balisong feels really nice in the hand. Here's like a sound test. And the tap. There's no tap. There's a little bit of play there, but it's really not too bad. There's like only one scuff on the handle. And there is a little bit of, like on the inside of the handles, there's a little bit of scuffing from, I guess, like the blade touching it, because it's pretty close, but it's not too bad. But yeah, overall, like the feel in the hand, like quality-wise, is very good. And I think for me personally, like the handle geometry and the grippiness of the handles, I really like it. So the other thing, the bite handle marker, you can definitely tell, like if you're doing a chaplain, it definitely like touches or feels like it's like grating into your skin, but not as much. Like if you do something like that, you can feel it. But I could see how like if you were to graze by it, like maybe on a whip rollover, I could see maybe like you wouldn't notice it as much if you did the wrong handle, but that also might be more accurate to a live blade, honestly. Now, the other thing that stuck out to me as well, this is just a personal note, is the dual colored handles. Well, first of all, this colorway is not one that I would pick personally. It's the Milky Way one, but it's like a purple and a pink. I feel like those are like a little bit too similar in colors. I'd rather have something like more contrasting. However, honestly, flipping it and like having it in my hands now and getting to like see it firsthand, I really like this. I think it looks really cool. It looks cool in different lighting. But yeah, I really like it. And I like having a balisong with two different color handles. It is so much easier to distinguish the bite handle and the safe handle, obviously, like unsurprisingly, because the handles are two different colors than like having to look at the blade shape or check for like a bite handle marker or something. So that's something that I feel like it's like weird. I think it could enhance performance in the sense of it's a lot easier to check which handle you're on and to kind of go for a trick, you know, like, because you know which, like, oh, I can easily see if I'm throwing a safe handle scissor or bite handle scissors, like just based on the color of the handle. So I think that's a good thing, but I also like think that it could develop a bad habit, because then you won't be really internalizing the tricks that you're doing to where you know which handle you're on at all times without having to visually look. And so it's like a funny little, I guess, pro and con there. But I've been really enjoying the two-handled, it's a balisong, they have two handles. The two colored handles of the balisong. So that's been really enjoyable. Now, the next thing I want to mention is the weight system. Right now I have the medium weights installed, and then it also comes with heavy weights. These are 3 grams each. These are 1.5 grams each. It's cool, it says it on there. And then of course you can just take the weights out entirely. And so it's in increments of 1.5 grams. And wow, is it noticeable. Like, it is crazy how obvious it is when the weight has been changed, especially because it's like right on the end of the handles. It's super cool to be able to experience that after like always like hearing people talk about how different weight systems make a balisong change like drastically and whatnot. Being able to like really experience that has been really cool. And what I really like about this balisong, this is like the first balisong that I've had that has come stock with a adjustable weight system, and I feel spoiled because, man, is it super easy. It is super easy to remove. You just have to unscrew it like that, and like the weight is adjusted. And so what's really nice about that is it makes it super easy to, you can like try out a trick and get used to one weight configuration and then adjust the weight and then try out that same trick again and really see how the weight and balance and distribution and whatnot affects how a trick feels, because everything else is the same. So it's like something that I noticed just from doing it was with like ladders, the difference between the heaviest weights and the lightest weights was very noticeable. Like it was definitely more difficult to do a ladder with the more weight that was in the ends of the handles. A little bit because the balisong weighs more, but probably because all of that momentum that you're generating from swinging the ends of the handles around really is noticeable on, like, I guess how hard you have to grip the ends of the handles to make it from flying off. So it was really cool today to like technically ABC test the 3 different weight configurations. So that was something that I'm really enjoying with this balisong. Now I want to go next into talking about the different weight configurations and how that feels. And it's like, this is kind of a difficult, I've never had to do this before because in all the balisongs that I've tried out, it's just, there's one balisong. So how it flips is how it flips. But it's difficult because with this balisong, there are multiple weight configurations. And so that changes how it flips. I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to talk about, so I have the medium weights, which I think are my favorite because it's right in the middle. It's kind of in that Goldilocks zone. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the medium weights, talk about how this balisong flips, and then I'm going to take the weights out and talk about what that changes, and then I'll put the heavy weights in and talk about what that changes about it. So the medium weights, I would say this balisong, now it's kind of hard to tell, honestly, like with all 3 of them, I kind of feel like there is a little bit of wonkiness at the beginning, but I'm like, is that just in my head because I'm like overthinking things, or is it actually the case? Or like based off like what I've heard other people say? I don't really know. But what I can say is this is like when I've done flipped other balisongs, and it's like, oh, this balisong is heavy, or this one carries a lot of momentum on the ends of the handles. When I'm like hyper focused about thinking about, oh, how heavy does this feel to flip? Is this fatiguing my hands? I find that whatever I'm trying to focus on kind of comes through, versus when I just flip and I'm just having a good time and just focusing on my flipping, I find that all kind of fades away and I can kind of get a more accurate understanding. So keep in mind, once again, this is just my first impressions for all of this, and things might change, you know, if I could spend more time with it or whatnot. But right now, this is just how I'm feeling about it. And I would say even from when I first did this, when I was first thinking about the balisong, I feel like I was noticing it to be more wonky or whatever. Like some people have said, it's kind of weird. But now I'm honestly really enjoying it. And the way I kind of think about it, I guess to summarize, is I really like all 3 weight configurations in different ways. Like I feel like this balisong has a good amount of personality to where you flip it and you're not bored. Now, granted, I just got this balisong, so, you know, there's like the honeymoon phase to where it's new and exciting. So don't, maybe that does go away. But right now I'd say like that weirdness with the balance is kind of like interesting, I guess. And so there's that. And so I feel like the lightweights and the heavyweights have the most like distinct personality, but this medium one is pretty like in the middle and feels a little bit more standard. So yeah, for the medium weights, like I said, I guess technically the lightweights, I'm going to call them the medium because it's the medium weight of the whole system. For these medium weights, I think that it's pretty close to like a standard flipping experience. I wouldn't say that the ends of the handles carry a ton of momentum. I think it's right in that nice spot where you definitely have enough handle weight to where it's not like it's definitely not blade bias or feeling like it's lacking in any way with the handle weight, and it definitely carries enough momentum, but it doesn't feel fatiguing to like change direction or whatnot with anything. And so yeah, I really like it. Like everything feels really good. Like chaplains feel very sticky, like as sticky as they would need to be. Fans feel good. That was a horrible fan. Fans feel good. Aerials feel nice and solid. Like you really like, I feel like it, the balisong really carries enough momentum and it doesn't feel super like slowed down or like it's going to fly away, which is really nice. I feel like this is like that nice balance where the lightweight is very fast and agile, and the heavyweight is like a little bit more slow and sluggish, but it's like really good for like carrying momentum through tricks and like doing lots of aerials and whatnot. And so I feel like this medium really just is the best of both worlds in that sense, where I don't feel committed to really either of those styles. Now the weights have been removed, as you can see, and I would say that I would describe this as like light and agile. It's very easy to change direction for sure because there's a lot less weight in the ends of the handles. I would say this configuration would be good for tech tricks and whatnot, just because it's just so like, yeah, light and agile. I feel like you can like change momentum, and it's like a lot more responsive to all like the little movements that you would do. Now with that, I feel like there is both a instability with this version, I guess, of like configuration. Like what I mean by that is like, even when you're doing a fan, sometimes it does feel a little bit less stable or whatnot. But I think because like, that's just the nature of, if you want that like lighter, more agile experience, I guess that kind of like comes with the territory. You get the instability because it definitely like, it can hold on to chaplains really as well as you would need. I don't know, the chaplains still feel sticky. Maybe they're just really sticky before, I don't know. But yeah, it does have like a light, agile feel to it, which I really like. I would say that both for the light and medium configurations, I think they're both perfectly acceptable and enjoyable. And if I had to have the balisong stay in those, either would be good. When I the very first time I picked this up, because it came without any of the weights in it, just like it is now, it did fly off my hand on a chaplain. But I feel like the more that I flip this, the more I've gotten used to it, the more I enjoy it, and the less like unstable in a bad way it feels. And just the more I realize it's like, well, it just has that ability to change momentum and direction really well. And with that, it doesn't feel as like locked in when you do some of the tricks, but it allows you to really do all those fun techie things that you want to do. So I really do like it without the weights. And now I have the heavyweights in, so I'll talk about that. Yeah, so talking about the heavyweights, the handles definitely feel like very substantial and heavy, which is like in a good way. Like this feels like a really good balanced configuration for just getting loads of aerials and just like really keeping the flow going in that way. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't choose this configuration for more like techie things. But you can still do it, of course. I mean, obviously. But I feel like it just really vibes with the, like the more, I guess like, yeah, traditional flipping of just like keeping the momentum going, which is really fun, like to have that option, because I feel like sometimes when I'm flipping, like I just want to like mess around and like come up with new things. And other times I do really want to like lock in on a flow. And so I think it's cool that you have that option to get to choose to do that with this one balisong. You can just put the heavyweights in if you want to get a lot of momentum for your style, doing like lots of aerials and rollovers and things like that. Yeah, it feels really good for all of the things. But yeah, so this is definitely like the heaviest setting, but I also wouldn't say like, oh, this is like super heavy or invariably heavy. But I think it's definitely, I feel like I really have to spend more time with each of the configurations to really figure out which is like my all-time favorite or whatnot. But personally, I think that they're all solid. They're all totally flippable and enjoyable. But of course, your mileage may vary because other people definitely do not agree. So that's important to factor in when you are thinking about, if you're thinking about buying this balisong or whatnot. Something I've noticed with all of these weights is that even though the weight is, obviously it's just in the ends of the handles that's changing, it makes the like whole handle feel more substantial, or like the whole handle feels lighter depending on what weights you have. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's like, I don't feel it like it's just concentrated at the ends. It like makes the entire handle feel like more dense or whatnot, which is interesting. But so with the handles, with the heavy weights, let me put it this way. I think I would enjoy these the more that I spend time with them. But for right now, I feel like because I'm so like fixated on detecting the differences, I definitely feel like these heavy weights feel like they would be more fatiguing. Realistically, probably not too fatiguing, but it definitely is more fatiguing because you can definitely feel the weight in the ends of the handles. And honestly, like I said, I think all of these weight configurations are super fun. They have their own distinct personality, and it's like you get 3 different flavors of the Pacific's personality, like all wrapped up. Like you get the really nice grippy handles, and you get the jimping and the extended like length of the balisong. But then you also get to try it out with 3 different type of like weight and balance configurations, all of which are really fun. Like this is definitely a balisong that I would find myself picking up if it would stay in my collection. Unfortunately, it is not staying in my collection, and I'm already kind of sad about that. I was thinking about this challenge, was like, if I fail this challenge, the worst thing that happens is I end up with another balisong that hopefully I'll like more. And I gotta say, I like this balisong so much more than the BBbarfly. It just fits my preferences really well with like the handle geometry. The grip is fantastic. The sound is great. I really honestly like this look. It's not a color that I would have picked out of all the options, but it looks super good in person. And it's got a lot of personality, which I've always thought I'd really want to go for performance first, but it's really fun to have a balisong that has good performance and a personality, and getting to try out 3 different balance and weight profiles all in one balisong has been super fun. And I'm definitely going to miss this one from my collection. And so it's going to be sad to see it go, but I'm really excited to see what this challenge will hold in the future. So if you would like to own this very balisong, you know what to do. You can just send me a DM on Instagram or Discord and of an offer that you have that you want to trade. I will be posting this on a balisong marketplace. So if you're watching this video now on YouTube, first, I want to give you the first opportunity to send me something, because I would love for one of my audience members to get to be a part of this challenge. So send me a DM. And if you are curious of seeing all the other videos in the series, you can check out this playlist here, which will show you everything that's a part of the Trade Up to Blaze Show challenge. Thanks for watching.